What is up, Mets fans? Welcome back to another episode of the Mets'd podcast. Today, we're going to be talking about our weekend. Me and James had a great Sunday, ate Brazilian barbecue, had arepas in Astoria. What'd you do this weekend, James?
Yeah, I spent some time with my family, met up with you guys in Bold on Sunday. It was an amazing weekend. Really just a strange weekend where the Mets, I can't remember ever the series where the Mets just didn't play baseball, for two straight days.
They played Friday. Friday was a
Friday.
Great win on Friday, but it was crazy that the rain in St. Louis just never stopped. I don't remember a time where you have to make up two games at some point during the season, but that's what happens with the Mets, right? I mean, they didn't play.
I don't know what we're going to do, but again, really grateful to have a nice Sunday where there was just no baseball to watch, nothing to distract us from some just good time, quality time spent with some of our really good friends.
Yeah, got to bowl, throw some stones at some pins. I mean, it was a great Sunday. I couldn't think of anything that could possibly ruin the day. I don't know, the Mets having 15 hard hit balls and only scoring 4 runs and losing to Eric Fetty. That didn't happen. That would ruin my day.
Yeah, or something like Michael McGreevy coming in for 4 innings of relief to totally shut down the Mets.
And being totally mediocre and not really doing anything impressive.
Yeah, something like retiring the last 10 hitters in a 1-run game in order. Something like that could ruin somebody's Sunday, but definitely didn't ruin mine.
No, didn't ruin mine. I mean, it didn't happen. Luckily for us, it didn't happen because, I don't know, guys. I don't want to talk about these horrible, horrible games. You guys know the drill. It's annoying. It's frustrating that the Mets lost these games. It was bizarre how we lost these games. In the notes, again, I like to give you guys a little peek sometimes inside the notes that James does. Fuck both these games is the first thing that James put here. Game one was so awesome. It was so good. They just beat the piss out of the Cardinals, and big tip of the cap to Wilson Contreras for clanking it off his hands and keeping that inning alive so that Brandon Nimmo could do some damage. They hit the home run and all that kind of stuff. But then the doubleheader was just how did we not win those games? We watched them, and it still doesn't really make any sense to me how we lost those games. You look at the box score, and against Eric Fetty, or even Andre Palante, let's talk about this, right? Imagine if I told you the Mets had 9 hits. All of them were basically hard-hit baseballs. He walked 4 guys as well. How many runs do you think they score? 100? Maybe 200?
75 at least.
Yeah, 4. Doesn't win the game. That's crazy. And then you look at the Eric Fetty box score. And I'm sure you guys are frustrated because you want the Mets to win. You don't want to hear about the Mets actually hitting the ball well and having good at-bats and not getting the job done with runners in scoring position. But Eric Fetty gave up 6 hits, walked 5, 9 hard-hit balls or 8 hard-hit balls against him as well. And somehow it was only 3 earned runs. 11 guys reached base with Eric Fetty on the mound, and they only scored 3 runs. It was crazy.
Dude, even just going back through the beginning of that game, you strand 2 in the first inning, get the heart of the order up, don't get strand 2. First and third, nobody outs in third, you only squeak out 1 run out of it.
Wait, which game were we talking about here?
Eric Fetty.
Okay.
Those first couple innings against Eric Fetty, when they were on literally everything, smoking the ball left and right.
Soto hit the track shot. That's how that ball didn't get out. It was a homer in 20 of 30 Parks, by the way.
Yeah, of course, Keith had to mention that one. He said home run Yankee Stadium. But Acuna gets on second with 1 out in the 4th, and Lindor and Soto strike out back-to-back. Oh, no, I'm thinking of... Yeah, that was the Fetty game. But Soto strikes out in that horrible call below the zone, which was ridiculous.
I had too many South American meats that my brain's a little bit mush right now. I'm drinking a Celsius. Shout out Juan Soto.
Yeah, shout out Juan Soto for the Celsius right there. But because every single inning against Fetty, you have men on base. You're putting the ball in the gap. You got guys in scoring position. And just here and there, you miss something. You don't get something. Luckily, we even got the error from Jose Barrero that even got us to run in that rally later in that game. It was just... For as hard as the Mets hit the ball, I know this is the last thing you guys want to hear because it's just, this is process shit. This is the annoying stuff for these games where we only score 4 runs turn into 9 runs in a couple weeks from now when things just fall differently. But that is how it felt watching these games where every single at-bat, except the few where the Mets actually needed to get the big hit, were piecing the ball up in one direction or the other, and then nothing good comes from it. And that's the part that just makes me so pissed off looking back at both of these games. Especially because they're on the other side of the ball, the Cardinals, all they were fucking doing was dinking, dunking, bloops, seeing eye singles, and every single thing was finding a way through. Blade Tidwell, of course, his major league debut wasn't good by any means at all. But that 4th inning when the wheels fell off, what the fucking joke had they kept scoring those runs?
Ridiculous. I mean, you look at his box score and it looks horrendous. If you didn't watch the game, which I think there's a lot of people out there that didn't watch the game, and that's okay. You don't have to watch every single second of every single game. 3 2/3 innings, 9 hits, 6 earned runs. The problem for me is the 3 walks, and I think, again, I'm not done or out on Blade Tidwell by any means because of this start. Long journey for a guy like Blade. He's going to get better. He's going to improve. The thing that we saw with Blade that you kind of understand why, because you see him throw 97. You see the breaking balls have some good movement here and there, but he does lack right now the ability to get these guys to chase and especially to get them in swing and miss. 9 hits, 3 walks, 2 strikeouts. That's the problem. Couldn't get the left-handed hitters out. There's definitely things that he needs to improve upon, but I think the box score is a little misleading because, again, 4 hard hit balls, 9 hits. Like that almost is impossible to do.
And we didn't have an episode between the news of Blade's promotion right now, but I did put out a tweet on Friday talking about, like, not concerns for Blade, but just kind of giving a quick 5 bullet point rundown because I've become the bullet point guy on Twitter. I'm a big bullet point guy. I love bullet points. I've been a bullet point guy my whole life. But I was always going to be a little bit concerned with Blade's, the way he can get left-handed batters out because he has the good fastball that was missing bats in the minor leagues. But then you saw in this start that sometimes he's pumping that fastball. You could see how much of a, I'm trying to use the right word here, psychopath Blade Tidwell is on the mound. The guy's just a lunatic. He's a dog. But you can see that as his adrenaline pumps and then it wanes back, he loses velocity. Our guy Isaac Groffman, the pitching savant, he posted the fact that, like, Blade just, when he's not able to sustain that velocity, and he had velocity oscillations in the start from 98.5 miles an hour to 91.5 miles an hour. There was a 7-mile-an-hour swing in his velocity. And it wasn't even like it was high at the beginning and went down at the end. It was like he would throw 95 and then 92 and then 97 and then 91. It was happening like back and forth in the middle innings. Whereas last fastball was, I think, either the fastest or second fastest he threw. But when he comes up in those at-bats against those lefties, and he can't rely on the sinker, and he can't really rely on the sweeper, especially not spot the sweeper, because he was trying so much. It was kind of pissing me off because I wish he would trust his stuff more and like trying to pick off spots time, trying to backdoor. And I kind of hate when these young pitchers just try to like pick off a perfect spot with that thing because when he got to the third time around the order, it was clear he wasn't able to spot that sweeper and he wasn't able to spot his tight gyro slider, which Baseball Savant was calling a cutter. I'm not sure what his intent with that pitch is, but I've seen people use different terms for what that pitch is.
I think they might have reclassified it to a slider now. I'm looking at his player breakdown, and I don't see cutter on there now. So,
oh, yeah, you're right. That's a slider. So it's a gyro slider. And then also, like, the few changeups he threw wasn't so many, kind of wound up floating a lot of them. So then it just comes back to the fact that if he can't sustain the fastball velocity, he's probably not going to be able to miss bats with it, which he wasn't really able to do. And he wasn't getting any chases on any pitch outside the strike zone because the Cardinals stacked his lineup with lefties. And then once he got to those lefties the third time, and he had the 4-pitch walk on Alec Burleson right after getting Lars Nootbaar to pop out, that was when it got really bad quickly. Because then it was seeing I single 2 runs, walk, seeing I single 2 runs. You're like, you saw the 3 walks in the box score. 2 of them happened in his last 4 batters. And once we got to the third time around the order, and like that was the part where it was like, yeah, it was a lot of dinky bullshit, but a couple big pitches could have gotten him out of that. But he didn't have the consistency of those secondaries well enough to the point where he could actually execute and get those guys out. That's kind of where it all fell apart. Yeah,
like I think it's going to be very much a work in process with Blade probably being sent down.
Yeah, I think this was a spot start. Yeah. But I don't want people to be like, I'm quitting Blade Tidwell now because of one terrible start.
Please no.
Also, amazing note from Gary in this game. May 4th being a huge day for Mets pitcher debuts.
Crazy stuff.
Last year, exactly to the day, May 4th, Christian Scott's Major League debut.
Which also feels like 7 years ago that Christian Scott made his debut.
7 lifetimes ago. And the year before, talk about 25 lifetimes ago, Justin Verlander's Mets debut on May 4th, which feels like, a million years ago.
Talk to your kids about like the 2023 season as like a Mets fan and be like, Justin Verlander made like 9 starts for the Mets. I'm like, what? What are you talking about? We'd be like, we interviewed this guy. We talked to him.
Yeah, literally. Every time I see a Verlander jersey at Citi Field, I smile a little bit because I'm like, that was something to remember. But again, it's just like it was close, but just wasn't quite there. And then like seeing the 98, 99, and then seeing how good that sweeper can move. Like if you could get everything together, which is going to be always a work in progress for these young pitchers, you can really see the potential of Blade Tidwell. I think that was fun. Also, like he was pitching like an old school guy with the windup over his head and sliding across the rubber.
I couldn't believe how much movement there is. And normally for guys like Tyler Megill, they try to simplify him as much as possible, as you've seen.
I think they will simplify this stuff with Blade.
But here's what happened. He apparently had a more simple windup. They told him to do this because he's better when he's in rhythm, and this is something that keeps him in rhythm. But to me, and I feel like it's unsustainable. Maybe this is something they're trying out right now. Obviously, Jeremy Hefner and Eric Yeagers know way better than we do, and they know exactly what they're doing, and I have all the faith in the world in them. But I can't imagine that him starting out on the third base side and then finishing on the first base side so drastic with all the movement in this. I feel like that could be part of the problem maybe with why the command is so erratic at times because it's a lot of moving parts.
You also, again, the command wasn't that erratic. It fell apart at the end there when he was really trying to be careful and nibble third time. It wasn't good. It wasn't, again,
too. Yeah.
True. It's controlled, not command. But then, again, when I'm talking about the fact that he keeps trying to pick off that backdoor sweeper against the lefties, but then in your windup, you're moving to the left, and you try to throw that sweeper to the right and pick off an edge. I'm like, that seems like a difficult pitch to hit, especially deep on the first base side of the rubber. So again, I don't know. There's definitely some things to take from Blade, which I was like excited about. Also, definitely some things to work on. He will go back to the minor leagues and keep working on them. But it was a Contreras home run, and then a lot of dinks and doinks and bloops and shit. Like the comeback was nice. Got men on base basically all of those last couple innings. Lindor 2-run single was great. And we're not complaining about the Umpires podcast. We never claimed to be. We never tried to be. But that last called strike from Jojo Romero to Pete Alonso was egregious.
And I feel like I'm seeing way too many people being like, it was close. It nicked the zone. It was too close to take. It's like, guys, first off, conceptualize what happened. Like, this isn't MLB The Show. The pitch isn't in the strike zone the entire time. You have to remember, this is coming from a left-handed pitcher, Jojo Romero, low and outside, side armor, to Pete Alonso on the right-hand side. So that ball is probably starting in the left-handed batter's box. And if it did, which it didn't pick the zone. But even if it did, that pitch was literally never a strike in Pete Alonso's eyes. It would be a disgustingly good pitch to a left-handed batter because it's going to start off behind his back and then end up maybe close to the zone, get him to chase or freeze him. But to a right-handed batter, for the umpire to make that a called strike 3 in that moment, it was unbelievably bad. I mean, the umpires have been terrible. They're bad for everybody. But that call was such a massive swing because it was bases loaded, 1 out with our best hitter up now. 2 outs, Brandon Nimmo hit a fly ball, and that was it. Like, it was just like, oh my God, what a fucking bad call. It was never a strike.
That was like a classic wiffle ball strike where you're trying to hit the chair, like no matter why the chair is a strike, and you pick off the chair when you move that pitch in the back
or
door.
like you were saying, where it's like the umpire's like, oh, you're trying to walk? I'm going to show you. Everybody's here to watch me play. Yeah.
But then again, that was like, and again, people were, because like when you pull up the box in Baseball Savant, you see that the ball just barely hits the edge of the strike zone. But like when you're in the right-handed batter's box and you get that backdoor sweeper like that, again, from a low arm slot, from a lefty, there's never a moment where that pitch is in the strike zone. And like it's crazy to try and be like he should have taken defensive swing on it because there's no way the pitch would ever come back. And again, Jojo Romero did make a pitch and he made the umpire make a call. Credit to him. Hats off to Jojo Romero for that. And then again, 9th inning, Vientos gets the leadoff single. We get Starling Marte in scoring position and just can't come through. McNeil and Acuna, who had an incredible game. Special shout out to Luis Angel Acuna.
Played really well.
Played third base in this game. Might have been playing third base for the first time in his literal life because I went back every single inning, 600 games in minor leagues, never played third base, 40 games in major leagues, never played third base. I bet when he was a child, he never touched that position either because he was always
shortstop.
A small little kid playing shortstop and middle infield. You'd never go over to third base. So for him to charge on that ball, his first ever try at third base in the first inning, I was like, that's every single day I watch Luis Angel Acuna. I'm like, that guy's a fucking ball player. And that's
really good, man. National League Rookie of the Month.
Amazing. Yeah, shout out that. We've been talking how bad the National League rookie crop is so far this year, but it's still cool for him to get that award with at the time 698 OPS. But this game didn't sting as much because you're like, we have game 2. You can't drop both games at doubleheader.
If you want to be bougie and have your own personal shopper, Hungry Root is actually the spot, and you can do it at an affordable price.
Yeah, without a doubt. And especially with my busy schedule with kids on the run all the time, baseball, gymnastics, I need a source that's going to get me going and my kids as well. So I'll pop in an easy chicken parm or grilled chicken, put it in a nice container, get it to go, and the kids are excited, and they're full, and they're nutritional, and it's ready to rock for their games.
There will be snacks that you have never heard of that you will immediately fall in love with. They will pick them out for you if you want. Obviously, you can go on there. You pick all of your preferences. Hungry Root gets the job done. Okay, FT fam? We love Hungry Root. Take advantage of this exclusive offer for a limited time. 40% off your first box plus a free item in every box for life at hungryroot.com/FT. That's code FT. hungryroot.com/FT. Code FT for 40% off your first box and a free item of your choice for life. The code is simple. It's 2 letters, FT.
Got one more thing to say about this game. Keith was loving Blade. I don't know if you caught like the reactions that he was having, but I know like Keith at times can be like too much of an old head or this or that, but the guy still does know baseball at an extremely high level, and he still like knows talent when he sees it. And he was giving some of those groans of like, oh shit, like I kind of get what's going on with Blade Tidwell here if they can clean a couple things up. So interested to see what happens with him going forward.
Blade had there was like a feeling with him on the mound. Like he commanded that shit. Like you could see
tight.
Working a great rhythm too, because you did mention that before. He was working fast. Also, special shout out on this game for the Glob of Chaos because Genesis Cabrera and Austin Warren came in and pitched combined 3 scoreless innings at the time we were coming back. And shout out Reed Garrett for coming in a 1-run game in the 9th inning. We were down 1. I wish that would have happened last week, but yeah.
Yeah.
And now, again, game 2. The solace of game 1 ending was that game 2 was beginning, and you're like, all right, that was a game we easily could have won, clear 50-50 game, probably even a 60-40 game we found a way to lose. Let's just pitch game 2. And game 2 sucked, I think, significantly worse than game 1.
Like, it was such a gut punch when Soto had the man on first and second, hit that bomb to center field. I think it was one of the hardest hit balls of the entire game. And Victor Scott goes back and makes a home run robbing catch like he was playing MLB The Show. Like all he did was hit R1. He was like, that was easy. Like this is what you're asking me to do. It was a great play by Victor Scott, but it's like, oh my God, we can't catch a break with this Soto guy. Like people are getting so mad at him because his approach is that of patience. It's a great approach. And people are like, swing the bat. This is why we're paying you $760 million. It's like, guys, have you ever seriously watched him play? Again, I'm not going to pretend like the way that Juan Soto is playing right now. 808 OPS is good in the grand scheme of baseball. It is not Juan Soto good. So I'm not going to be like praising him for being a worse version of himself at this exact moment. But the people that are like freaking out, screaming, crying, going nuts, going ballistic about this guy, it's like, one, you're showing your true colors that you've never watched Juan Soto play outside of the New York Mets when they signed him. And two, this is a very, very sustainable thing. Again, if you think Juan Soto is playing terrible, wait until you see when he plays well. It's going to be absolutely insane. So I know people are tired of hearing about patience, but just like Juan Soto, patience. He's hitting the ball so incredibly hard every game in the last week. He had 3 hard hit balls in game 2 of the doubleheader. I think he had 2 in game 1. Like he's just barreling up the baseball. It's just not falling just yet.
Which is, again, that's fine. We know that's going to fall. Like everything is still looks A-okay for Juan Soto. Yes. It's just frustrating when it's happening kind of all at once in these games when these happen. Correct. That 4th inning was especially a gun punch. I'll get to Tyler Megill, what happened in that 3rd inning in a little bit. But we have Palante on the ropes in our top of the 3rd inning. Top of the 3rd inning, as we scored a bunch of runs on him. We got the single rally, top of the 3rd. And then Tyrone Taylor gets on to start the inning. Lindor walks. I think you said it while we were bowling. Be like, oh, nice, easy 3-run home run right now. Yeah. Forget about this game. And he hits the ball, and he pissed on it. Victor Scott skies for the catch. And then you're just like, oh, you got to be kidding me. But like, Tyrone Taylor still tags up and gets the 3rd. Francisco Lindor steals 2nd. Pete Alonso draws a walk. Finally chase Andre Palante, bring in Michael McGreevy. And Mark Vientos just had another one of these at-bats in a big spot where he looked hopeless. Horrible. And while Mark Vientos over the last couple of weeks has definitely put the early season malaise behind him and has swung the bat better, has taken better at-bats, has been getting more hits, has been getting to more power, for some reason, when he's in these situations, in the heart of the order, because he hit 4th in this game, I think both games, and Nimmo hit 5th, something that we've advocated for the opposite of a lot so far.
Nimmo was
season.
4th in game 1 because Vientos was not playing.
Right, not playing. Yes, you're right. Okay, so that was game 2 where, again, Nimmo was 5th, Vientos was 4th. He takes a strike looking at a sweeper. He fouls off a sweeper. He takes another strike looking at a sweeper. It's bang, 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 3 pitches, strikes out. Looking at 2 strikes. He's breaking balls in the zone.
Kind of doing the Pete of last year where it's like anytime there's a big moment, does not show up.
No, and that's the most frustrating part. And I pulled up some RISP stats so far for the Mets, and this is not even counting this game because you can't do the Fangraphs live leaderboard on the split leaderboard. So coming into this game, what do you think Mark Vientos was with runs in scoring position? Average.
It's got to be like 125.
It was coming into the game 139. So after the game, it's probably about 125. I think he was 0 for 2 with that. Between these 2 games. You want to know what the Mets were in this doubleheader in total? Runs in scoring position?
I was looking at it because Wardy tweeted it out. I think they were like 6 for 24 or something like that.
It was 6 for 26.
Yeah, it's horrible. And they left 22 guys on base in these 2 games. Like that's unfathomable. He put out a good tweet too. Shout out Wardy, our boy. We're going to get him on here soon for you guys and get a nice little collab. The Mets have lost 13 games so far this season. In 11 of those losses, they've lost by 2 runs or fewer. In 6 of their last 7 losses, they lost by 1 run. And then he gave us like all the numbers of RISP and left on base. And it's like double-digit guys left on base, 1 to 2 hits with runners in scoring position. Like, it's just you could just point to it. That's why they're not winning. Can't get the big hit right now.
And that's something where Walter, I always believe, will find this level. Because for the most part, again, I think Vientos is the one guy where I think the concern is actually real. But for the most part, like when I see the Juan Soto's like 6 or 25 run scoring position, that's not going to continue, especially when half of those balls are 100 miles an hour. Some guy responds to my tweet because I put the bait out there. I said Juan Soto's the most unlucky hitter on earth, and some guy was like, "I'm tired of hearing all this hard hit ball bullshit. Like you got to hit it where they ain't." I was like, "Dude, I don't think
they ain't."
I was like, "I don't think that applies for balls over the fence, man. Like I don't know if I can handle that response." But for everybody besides Vientos, I feel like the Water will definitely find this level. For Vientos specifically, it just seems like if nobody's on, he has a great at bat. Yes. But I don't know why his mind goes to mush. And I was like, the Cardinals jerseys, Michael McGreevy. This lines up perfectly the way it did last year. We saw the highlight of when it happened last year, too. They flashed over the weekend, I think, a few times. But that at-bat directly after the robbed home run as we chase their starter from the game in the 4th inning. If you would have asked me in that moment, will Michael McGreevy finish this game?
No
I would have
shot.
told you, no fucking way he's going to finish this game. But again, he retired the last 10 Mets he faced, and we were swinging out of our shoes. They were bad at bats. They were one-pitch outs. Like, it was situations where it was terrible, honestly. Like, it was a horrible approach. It seemed like for the first season, they got a little tight, and they kind of lost track of themselves in a way, which is kind of corny, but I don't know. It's kind of how I felt watching it.
Yeah, it was I don't know, it was a weird experience because we haven't seen that version of the Mets really this year too often where it's like, oh man, like what is going on with these at bats? Like everybody's trying to be the hero. That's kind of what it felt like rather than but then it's also like I want people to be the hero. I want the Mets to hit home runs. I want them to hit the ball hard because as we can see, again, why we hate singles, why we hate this stuff, 10 hits, 4 runs. Like everybody talks about you can't live and die by the long ball. This is what happens. It's like, yeah, but then when you hit 7 singles, you don't score any runs. Like I don't know how people can see that version of baseball and be like, this is the best version of this team.
We did have the nice single rally early in this game. Also, I want to talk about Megill for a little bit because, again, it was a situation similar to Blade, but not like too similar to Blade, where it seemed like, and it was a pretty bad start. In terms of all the Megill starts this year, this might have been the worst.
I think, yeah, no, it was his worst. Maybe
second worst.
That or like the Miami one, even though he struck out 10 guys, but that was still like the weird.
Walked every single person.
Walked every single guy. I don't know, like, this is the other thing that's annoying me right now too is people like being like, here comes the Mets pitching, like it's going back. It's like the Mets are giving up 4 runs a game. Like that's unbelievably good. That is still top 5 in Major League Baseball over a season. If you were letting your opponents average 4 or 5 runs a game, you were going to win 97 games most of the time.
In the first game, your starting pitcher gets chased in the 4th inning, and you still only give up 5 runs. And again, like your nonsense relievers hold the Cardinals the whole game. So like everyone's pitching well enough to win, but it did piss me off a little bit too with Vientos that, especially watching Acuna play third in game 1, there's that rolling ball right in front of him in the 2nd inning that he kind of
Arenado,
he stomps onto it. He picks it up before the base and it still doesn't make a throw, that's like a clear sign that third baseman's kind of playing in between, not really thinking this stuff through, where it's like if the ball's rolling and you don't think you're going to have a play in the guy, you let that thing roll, hope it goes foul. Or you charge hard and you make the throw, make a play. To pick the ball up before third base and still not make a throw is like
crazy.
And then directly after that, Alec Burleson has his first home run of the year. And then the next inning, it's like this was one of the classic bad Tyler Megill innings where it's a walk, BS ground ball just to first base to Pete to move him over. And then a dribbler to Vientos again. This was the Arenado play.
Yes.
Where he charges hard, makes the play, picks it up, but Arenado's running. Not that fast. And then Megill makes Vientos makes kind of a wild throw on the run when he could have planted and threw because he had Arenado by 2 steps, makes a bad throw, pulls Pete off the bag, run scores, and then good piece of hitting by Wilson Contreras to twist the knife a little bit. The next batter, score the next run. Take that inning that probably should have been none and now made it down. Now he gave up 4 runs. That changes everything. Like his command was still bad in the start overall, yanking a lot of fastballs, not getting as many first pitch strikes as we've seen him get the last few outings when he's really been like seeming aggressive and like really throwing that ball well. But it's just, it was not, I don't know, like it was bad, but it easily with like pristine defense could have been much better than it was, or him just not walking a few of those guys.
Again, to put a little bow on this, because I think we're done talking about these games and being negative or whatever. These were 2 Mets should have swept this series. Should have swept. Like they had a chance to win every single one of these games. They gave themselves the ability to not just win these games, but win these games big, and they just didn't come through. And that's really, really frustrating. Thank God it's happening in April and not happening in September, October, because we would really be losing our minds. But the sky is falling mentality from everybody that you're seeing on Twitter.
That's wrong.
It's stupid. It's dumb. Like we have to be evolved past this by now as Mets fans. We know that's just a bad take to have.
And maybe the way we like clean this up is now talk a little bit more about Friday's game, because Mets did play a decent game. You want to talk about? I mentioned it briefly. I don't know.
I don't know. It feels like we're gonna do it, but it feels bad to be like, hey, remember how shit it was? Now it was good. Here's the good. But they did play so well on Friday.
Best part of this podcast, we talk about every game. If we don't talk about every game,
no, we're going to talk
bullshit. So like Nimmo gets on base 5 times. That's crazy. The whole season of baseball, you'll probably see that happen maybe 5-10 times the whole year. Every single player, every single game. So that was cool to see. Pete hitting another fucking nuke. And again, Nimmo hitting one as well.
Yeah, coming off the commercial break on a first pitch again, just like he did
in St. Louis.
Harlan in St. Louis. Yeah. It's crazy how Nimmo loves doing that, specifically in St. Louis. Jesse Winker was hitting the ball well. Jeff McNeil had some good at-bats. Francisco Alvarez has looked really, really good at the plate. I think if there's a positive to take from the entire, I guess, outside of the big moments. But like, he's had some really nice at-bats. He's been taking the ball the other way. I'm sure Eric Chavez is just running around rock hard because he's hitting his singles to right field. But good at bats from him, and same thing. Luis Angel Acuna, again, playing great baseball. It's hard to keep this guy out of the lineup right now.
And also funny, weird things keep happening. Clay Holmes starts. Last weekend, he had the rain delay after 4 batters into the game.
Yeah.
This start, he's kind of cruising, pitching well. Carlos had a little bit on him. Gets nailed in the ankle by a liner. He finishes that inning, but then, or maybe it was next inning, I don't remember if it was that inning. Definitely stiffened up on him. He had the classic Clay Holmes disaster inning. He lost it, but then after that, he was all good again. I think these last few starts from Clay, the strikeouts have dried up a bit, but we're seeing the sinker really starting to find his command with that pitch much more consistently. It's just getting so much weak contact, so many ground balls. That's kind of the Clay Holmes that we expected, and that's kind of the Clay Holmes we've been getting, which is, again, nice that he's pitching well. Clay Holmes having a 2.95 ERA, one of the 10 lowest FIPS in all of baseball.
Crazy.
If you had told someone that on May 1st, those would be the Clay Holmes lines, you'd be like, get the fuck out of here. But it's cool.
The Mets have 20-plus wins, and they're in first place. That's probably what you'd say. Oh, where are they?
And again, I think that is important perspective right now because, again, there is, I think a little bit too much doom and gloom, a little bit too much sky is falling. I think that's something that is got to chill out with because the Mets are still having a tremendous season. But you guys hate me for this, too. Yeah, this is also, I think, the continuation of just the 26 games in 27 days. Yeah. Where you can see this team is kind of on fumes right now, and they their frustration, especially at the end of that game,
I'm on fumes.
Yeah, right.
I haven't even played any games.
It just seems to be setting in. And now, after playing a doubleheader in St. Louis, we have to fly to Phoenix, Arizona. Probably going to get in there 1 o'clock in the morning to wake up and play another 3-game series before finally getting a much-deserved off day. That's annoying, too.
Against the team that we've played last week.
And lost to last week.
Literally, we've lost 2 series in a row here. One of them was to the Arizona Diamondbacks. We played this team less than a week ago.
Yes, 3 days ago we played them. And then also got to mention the fact that that Starling Marte started the game too and got pulled in the 5th inning.
Do we have any info on that?
Carlos Mendoza said that was the plan to get him off his feet.
What about Jesse Winker getting pulled? Do we have anything about him?
Yeah, oblique, likely on the IL.
Motherfucker. God damn it. And he was starting to swing the bat really well.
And it'd make a lot of sense for this to be the call-up for Brett Beatty. He's missed the last couple of games. So they say a toe injury in AAA.
Big toe, yeah.
Yeah, so now we're probably looking at, I would guess, Jared Young to get the spot.
He's on the 40 man. Hard.
He's been on the 40 man. He's crushing the ball in AAA. I got some stats here for Jared Young, but it seems like an oblique injury for Jesse Winker, which is at least a month. And then kind of going to go from there. I will say, in Tacomo's article about Jesse Winker's injury, he did specifically only mention John Singleton and Billy McKinney as the possible options to be called up.
Singleton? We have John Singleton?
Yeah, I think he did that, though, just because he's these are the DHs in AAA, because Winker's a DH. But if
Billy Bonds could be back, though.
Billy Bonds could be back. Jared Young in AAA, 60 plate appearances, got a 185 WRC+, 10% strikeout rate, 19% walk rate, 96-mile-an-hour average exit velocity, and 116-mile-an-hour max exit velocity from a guy, Mikey MJD Analysis, while playing a few different positions.
That should be the guy. Does he have an option?
I'm checking right now.
Jared Young has 2 options.
Should absolutely lights out be Jared Young. He's a lefty bat who can play, again, he could probably fake it in a corner outfield. I'm trying to look this year specifically where he's played down there. He has played 2025. I can tell you who can't play the corner
outfield.
Who?
John Singleton. Why the fuck would the Mets call up John Singleton? That would be the worst guy they could call up.
He's played 3 games in left field. He's played 5 games at third base. He has played 1 game in right field.
I'm actually so mad 1 game at DH. John Singleton. Why did that make me so mad? That's like the dumbest guy they could call up.
Yeah, I think Jared Young seems like a lock. On the 40-man with options, can mix it up in the corner outfield and the corner infield.
Could play third base, if you needed him to.
He's played there a bit this year. I think also Luis Angel Acuna might just be the best third baseman on the team now.
It's probably true.
Defensively, guys. Defensively, by a lot.
I mean, offensively, he's hitting better than Vientos right now.
Yeah. And then I think that was basically all we got. That's it. That's really the only news here.
Yeah, I think that's really the only news. We were going to do a media marvel about Jason Worth because he can't keep the Mets out of his mouth, but with the series ending so poorly, I think we'll just save that for a happy episode where we could have some fun with it. But I mean, it's a day that ends in Y. I'm sure Jason Worth will continue to talk about the Mets for absolutely no reason for the rest of the week. Now that his horse lost in the Kentucky Derby, I'm sure he's going to go back to just yapping and yapping. So we'll keep you guys posted on that.
Yeah, Jason Worth is kind of like an action figure where you pull the string and they say the one thing they say. Jason Worth, you pull the string, talks about the Mets. That's it. They're the best thing that ever happened to him. But do you have a Frankie Peppers to send us off on...
Wait, did you give us pitching matchups?
Oh, yeah, we didn't even preview the Diamondbacks series.
No,
what are we talking about?
Yeah.
Jeez.
I mean, listen.
Moving too fast.
We know the team. Ketel Marte's back. That's the big thing for them is that he's back and he's playing, which is not good for us because Ketel Marte's awesome.
And Corbin Burns is out. He's a shoulder issue. He will be out for the
Wow.
foreseeable future. Yeah, so
That's
we're
probably
getting.
why he looks so bad. So is Ryan Nelson back in the rotation?
Yeah, Ryan Nelson starting
Thank
Monday.
God I didn't cut him in fantasy.
Yeah, no, me too. Literally, I was thinking about it last week and I didn't
Yup.
do it. I was so happy. But so pitching matchups for a weekday series in the desert. 9:40 start time. So everyone get your coffee ready.
Midnight
So,
Mets.
Midnight Mets are back. 9:40 Monday. Happy Cinco de Mayo. Mets will be in Arizona for Cinco de Mayo. Maybe some tacos out there. Kind of fun. A little bit of an ace-off. Griffin Canning versus Ryan Nelson.
Ace off.
Tuesday, 9:40 again. If you guys are not in the jurisdiction for the Mets, this game will be on MLB Network. That is David Peterson versus Zach Gallen. So second time seeing Gallen in a week. I love that so much. Then Wednesday matinee, 3:40 p.m. start. 3:40 p.m. start's kind of crazy. I like that a lot actually for the East Coast.
That's a little fun one, yeah.
Kodai Senga versus Merrill Kelly.
Ooh, Merrill Kelly. All right, tell the people about Merrill Kelly. We haven't seen him yet.
Junk. So much junk. I love Merrill. I mean, honestly, I love Merrill Kelly. We talked about Merrill Kelly with Nick Pollock like a month and a half ago on this podcast where he was like, as a real life pitcher, he likes Merrill Kelly more than Tyler Megill. And Merrill Kelly like kind of does the thing. He's like, you're going to love this one. Merrill Kelly is like the Zach Greinke of Miles Mikolas's.
Ooh, yeah.
Right? Totally. Because
Yeah.
he does that same thing where it's like, here's a cutter, here's a sinker, here's a fastball, here's a slider, here's a changeup, here's a curveball. He'll mix them all up, 6 pitches all the time, bunch of nonsense, bunch of bullshit. And he'll keep the ERA around 4, keep the whip around 1. That's it. That's
And
what he's doing this year again.
An exact doppelganger for the actor Chris Elliott. If you guys watch Schitt's
Schitt's
Creek,
Creek.
Rollin' Shit, or if you've watched Something About Mary, Woogie, it's uncanny how much these guys look alike. I still don't believe that it's not Chris Elliott pitching.
Merrill Kelly is also the classic like ball watcher versus like advanced stats knower, because if you look at Merrill Kelly's baseball savant page, you're like, why is this guy good? You watch Merrill
Putrid.
Kelly pitch, you're like, I don't want to face this guy.
No,
It's just annoying as hell.
He's a like better version of Eric Fetty a little bit, and they both
Yeah,
went to go
he's-
pitch in Korea, and that's where they got better and saved
He's
their
a better
careers.
version of Merrill Kelly. I think when Merrill Kelly came back from Korea, it was the slider though that made him good. Where Fetty was picking up the changeup. The changeup
Okay.
made him a lot better. Maybe it was changeup too. I don't remember. But because Merrill Kelly's been back over here for a very long time now. But
He was kind of one of the first guys. Him and Eric Thames were like the guys. He was the
Yeah.
pitcher that came back. Eric Thames was the hitter.
And Merrill Kelly's good. He's just legitimately good. People were shocked a few years ago when the Diamondbacks gave him a contract extension when they seemed like they had so much pitching in the organization. They're like, no, we love having this guy pitch every 5th day. Like he's such a gross, fun guy to have in the back of your rotation forever.
Give me Frankie Peppers. Give me Frankie Peppers. I'm ready for it. I've had enough of this.
Right. And the other news, the Diamondbacks, since we saw them last, because last time we talked about them, Justin Martinez was down his velocity. He's on the injured list. They've given Shelby Miller the closer role. He blew a big save over the weekend.
Did he
Will
really?
knows gonna close for them. It could be Miller, could be Ginkle, could be Ryan Thompson.
And
I don't
games
even
in
think-
Arizona are always chaos for us as well.
I don't think even they know who's going to close for them this series against the Mets, so we will see that. But again, these games against Diamondbacks are very important because these are teams you're directly competing with playoff spots. You got to be able to beat them. They just took a series from us last week. Got to try and take one from them. But without further ado, after a bad week of Mets baseball, we got Frankie Peppers.
Thank God.
Gentlemen, this is Frankie Peppers. How you doing?
How you doing?
I have a sad song I'd like to sing that goes all around me are familiar faces, worn out spaces, worn out places. I don't know the words, but it's a sad song, and I want to sing a sad song because that was a sad series, losing 2 or 3. 2 one-run game losses in the doubleheader. Don't know what you can do about those. I mean, Juan Soto smoking the ball twice, getting a home run robbed. It's not good to lose 2 games in a row, obviously, the way we lost. That 3rd one, it could have gone our way. It didn't, but it could have. So I'm not ringing any alarm bells just yet, but it's still not great. Regardless, though, I hope you had a good weekend, boys. And as a reminder, 1 week from the day this comes out, May 11th, it's Mother's Day. So go say hi to your moms, hug your mothers if you love them. I hope you do. And I'll talk to you soon, boys. Take care.
If you love them's crazy.
Great reminder on Mother's Day from Frankie Peppers for all the people out there. But I mean,
This is
it's
go
just-
get your cards, go get your flowers, go get your presents now. Because
make sure you do the ordering this week.
yeah, don't wait till the last second. I wish we had a sponsor for this one that was like something for Mother's Day, but
I mean, we might.
no, I looked at it. It's not a Mother's
Okay.
Day sponsor. Yeah,
All right,
Hungry
that's fine.
Root.
Yeah. all right. Annoying series. Let's play better baseball. Again, this 26 games in 27 days sucks ass. But let's just try and win 2 of the last 3 and like get back home for next weekend against the Cubs and be feeling better.
That's it, guys. Thank you so much for listening. Thank you for watching. Make sure you are subscribed to the Mets'd Podcast YouTube channel. If you're listening to us, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Google, drop us a rating, drop us a review, download, and subscribe. You can follow James on social media at
James Shiano.
And I'm Giraffe Neck Mark with a C. Thank you guys for listening, watching. We will catch you all after the Diamondback series. Play better baseball. Just be better. Just be better. It's that simple. Be better. Let's go, Mets.
Let's go, Mets.